Alright guys, Vol here, and welcome to my first proper Warhammer Fantasy Battles battle report. This is between my Tomb King's army and an opposing Dark Elf army, and I want to give you some background to this game before we begin. First of all, this game is played using the army list that I'm planning to use in the tournament next weekend, the Pre-Fluffycon tournament, and it has deliberately been reduced to a very weak kind of army, neglecting some of the more powerful choices available to the Tomb Kings, because the tournament restrictions require that, and I'm being marked on that, and the army is not allowed to enter the tournament if it doesn't meet certain requirements. Now, I found out early in the week that the judges of the tournament aren't letting me use this particular army list because they think it's too powerful, so I'm having to make some modifications next week. Now, a whole bunch of people entered this tournament, and only one other guy was vetoed in the same way as me, and has to have his army list made less powerful. And it happened to be this guy here, the Dark Elf player that I happened to show up at the club and play today. And his army, if you look at it, very powerful. This first photo shows our deployment. And he's got, I'm not sure if you guys can see it too clearly, but he's got a Hydra, he's got 2 units of Cold One Knights, he's got an Assassin hidden along with a Shade somewhere, he's got a couple of level 2 Sorcerers, he's got a Repeater Bolt Thrower, he's got a massive unit of Corsairs, and he's got a Lord riding a Pegasus. Wow, so that's that. And this is the first shot of the deployment here. I'm going to move to the next photo where you can see what appears to be a Minotaur model in the foreground. Now, my opponent tells me that he's using that model to represent a Dark Elf Dreadlord riding a Pegasus, because he's planning on cutting up the Dark Elf Pegasus model with Morathai, the special character on it, and using that as the Pegasus model for his Dreadlord, and using like axe or something from this Minotaur as the Dreadlord's weapon or something. So that's cool. So you can see the Dreadlord deployed here behind the rocks, and that was a bad deployment for him. It means he's so far away from my chariots and my characters, and I was really glad that he deployed there. The Repeater Bolt Throwers on the hill, and we've got one group of Cold One Knights here in the foreground. Going to go to the next photo where you can see my army in a little bit more of a clear detail. You've got one Scorpion on each side, one Scorpion to deal with with each unit of Cold One Knights potentially. A lot of archers in the middle and onto one side, and some melee skeletons in between. The Screaming Skull Catapult on the hill, of course, with the Carrion behind the hill. The point with the Carrion is to charge them out 20 inches the first turn, then use incantations to try and get them in range of the Repeater Bolt Thrower, and then tons of cavalry and chariots on the flank as well with the Tomb King. So let's go to the next photo. You can see just a little bit more detail here where the Tomb King is. He's sort of in the midst of all the chariots. He's the guy with the sort of orange flames on his chariot there. And unfortunately, there wasn't really much space between the hill and that forest there for me to get all of my chariots around. Otherwise, I would have deployed them in a big rack. Obviously, I've got a very big unit of heavy cavalry. They're not a great unit. One reason I have a large unit of heavy cavalry is because that's the models that I happen to own. Number two, I don't like light cavalry as much as heavy cavalry. Both units have their pros and cons, but I will prefer a heavy cavalry unit. After this tournament, I'm going to choose a different army list with probably only about 12 guys in the heavy cavalry unit. And that will be that. So let's go to the next photo. In this photo, you can actually see the deployment of his Shades. They're in his army is not very well painted, as you can see. He only just started on it, but his Shades are positioned in the forest nearest to my guys, and that's going to be a pain because I can't charge them with my chariots. Otherwise, the chariots will hit the forest and take impact hits. Next photo, you can see a little bit more detail on my guys. I'm really happy with the way these guys are shaping up in terms of painting. A lot of gold on them, and this was during my first turn. The Tomb Kings won the first turn, and what I did is I increased the rank size of my archers so that more of them could shoot, just darkening the sky with arrows. During my first round of shooting, I used the magic phase to smite them and shoot them as well, but I barely killed any guys. I really only killed a couple of Dark Elf crossbowmen, and my rolling was not very good for that. In the meantime, the Screaming Skull Catapult on the hill here, you can see a photo of the Screaming Skull Catapult in the foreground. Man, this photo is great for looking at the cavalry. The cavalry look great in this photo, and the king's in the middle of the picture, as you can see. But the Screaming Skull Catapult fired at the Cold One Knights in the distance, didn't kill anything, unfortunately. Next photo, you can see the Shades just moving within range. They're planning on moving within range of my guys here. This is me actually in my first turn, moving all of the chariots up, positioning the carrion in the middle of the chariots, getting ready to charge them, because they weren't quite in range of the repeater bolt thrower at the start of the game for an incantation, I believe. And I kind of didn't want to move them directly 20 inches forward and fail the incantation and get shot. I wanted to use it for other things. So that's what happened in the first turn here, and the shades are ready to start firing at me. Next photo, though, this Minotaur model representing his Dark Elf Dreadlord on the Pegasus flies around the side, and the Tomb Scorpion is behind the forest, but unfortunately facing the wrong direction to get the charge off on him. So that leaves me open to a charge next turn, so I had to sort of re-maneuver myself to deal with that. Let's go to the next turn. Now this is crucial, because what happened here is that this is Tomb King's turn 2, and what's happened here is that my king has charged his Hydra, because the chariot has flaming attacks, flaming impact hits, d6 plus 1 impact hits, so that prevents the Hydra from using regeneration, and double teaming with the Scorpion, and really just hope that I had a lot of luck there, because I didn't really feel confident enough to shoot the Screaming Skull Catapult at it and wipe it out, because that ignores regeneration itself. And in the meantime, I've used some incantations to get a unit of chariots around to kill his Cold One Knights. Now, I managed to kill a couple of Cold One Knights with the chariots with the impact hits, but that combat was evenly tied, and I couldn't break him. So that'll be tough for me to beat him after that. And he's got a standard which allows his Cold One Knights to always attack first, so it doesn't really make too much difference later on, because they've got much higher initiative than me. But crucially, the Tomb King charged the Hydra, rolled a 2 for his impact hit, so didn't actually get any non-regeneratable hits on the Hydra. The Scorpion managed to take a wound or so off him, but that's it, and the Hydra started striking back and took my Tomb King down to a couple of wounds left. So that really went badly. It was a real gamble for me trying to charge the Hydra like that, and it didn't pay off. So I was stuck in a really awful situation there. A couple of people watching the game told me that I should have just tried to kill the Hydra with the Screaming Skull Catapult. It's a lot easier to hit because of that large base that it has, and if I had managed to hit it, I probably would have killed it, because